Hi guys, welcome back to Mysteries channel. Thank you very much for clicking on my video. Today we're doing another chapter in the book, The Children of Odin. Today's chapter is called The All-Father's Forebodings, How He Leaves Asgard. Two ravens had Odin, All-Father. Hugin and Munnin were their names. They flew through all the worlds every day, and they came back to Asgard, and coming back to Asgard, they would light on Odin's shoulder, and they would tell him of all the things that they had heard and seen. And one day passed without the ravens coming back. Then Odin, standing on the watchtower Hitskjaf, said to himself, I fear me for Hugin, lest he not come back, but I watch more for Munnin. A day passed and the ravens flew back. They sat, one on each of his shoulders. Then did the All-Father go into the council hall that was beside Glacier, the wood that had the leaves of gold, and hearken to what Hugin and Muggin had to tell him. They told him only of shadows and foreboding. Odin, All-Father, did not speak to the dwellers of Asgard of the things that they told him, but Frigga, his queen, saw in his eyes shadows and foreboding of things to come. And when he spoke to her about these things, she said, Do not strive against what must take place. Let us go to the holy Norns, who sit by Urda's well, and see if the shadows and foreboding will remain when you have looked into their eyes. And so it came that Odin and the gods of Asgard had come to Urda's well, where, under the great root of Yggdrasil, the tree Norn sat, with the two fair swans below them. Odin went, and Tyr, the great swordsman, and Baldur, the most beautiful and best beloved of the gods, and Thor with his hammer. A rainbow bridge went from Asgard, the city of the gods, to Midgard, the world of men. But another rainbow bridge, more beautiful and more tremulous still, went from Asgard to the root of the Yggdrasil, under which was Urda's well. This rainbow bridge was seldom seen by men, and where the ends of these two rainbows came together, Heimdall stood. Heimdall, with the golden teeth, the watcher for the gods, and the keeper of the way to Urda's well. Open the gate, for today the gods would visit the holy Norns. Without a word, Heimdall opened the wide gate that led to the bridge, more colored and more tremulous than any rainbow ever seen from the earth. Then did Odin and Tyr and Baldur step out upon the bridge. Thor followed, but before his foot was placed on the bridge, Heimdall laid hands upon him. The others may go, but you may not go that way, Thor, he said. What? Would you, Heimdall, hold me back? Said Thor. Yes, for I am the keeper of the way to the Norn, said Heimdall. You, with the mighty hammer you carry, are too weighty for this way. The bridge I guard would break under you, Thor, with the hammer. Nevertheless, I will visit the Norns with Odin and my comrades, said Thor. But not this way, Thor, said Heimdall. I will not let the bridge be broken under your weight of you and your hammer. Leave your hammer here with me if you wish to go this way. No, said Thor. I will not leave in anyone's charge the hammer that defends Asgard, and I may not be turned back from going with Odin and my comrades. There is another way to Urda's well, said Heimdall. Behold, these two great cloud rivers, Kormt and Ermt. Canst you wade through them? They are cold and suffocating, but they will bring thee to Urda's well, where sit the three holy Norns. Thor looked out onto the two great rolling rivers of cloud. It was a bad way for one to go, cold and suffocating. Yet if he went that way, he could keep on his shoulder the hammer which he could not leave in another's charge. He stepped out into the cold river that flowed by the rainbow bridge, and with his hammer upon his shoulder, he went struggling on to the other river. Odin, Tyr, and Baldur were beside Urda's well when Thor came struggling out of the cloud river, wet and choking, but with his hammer upon his shoulder. There stood Tyr, upright and handsome, leaning on his sword that was inscribed all over with magic runes. There stood Baldur, smiling with his head bent as he listened to the murmur of two fair swans. And there stood Odin, All-Father, clad in his blue cloak fringed with golden stars, without the eagle helmet upon his head, and with no spear in his hands. The three Norns, Urda, Verdandi, and Skulda, sat beside the well that was in the hollow of one of the great roots of Yggdrasil. Urda was ancient and with white hair, and Verdandi was beautiful, while Skulda could hardly be seen, for she sat far back, and her hair fell over her face and eyes. Urda, Verdandi, and Skulda, they knew the whole of the past, the whole of the present, and the whole of the future. Odin, looking on them, saw into the eyes of Skulda even. Long he stood looking on the Norns, with the eyes of God. And while the others listened to the murmur of the swans and the falling of the leaves of Yggdrasil, looking into their eyes, Odin saw the shadows and forebodings that Hugin and Munin told him of take shape and substance. And now others came across the rainbow bridge. They were Frigga and Sif and Nanna, the wives of Odin, Thor, and Baldur. Frigga looked upon the Norns. As she did, she turned a glance of love and sadness upon Baldur, her son. And then she drew back and placed a hand upon Nanna's head. Odin turned from gazing on the Norns and looked upon Frigga, his queenly wife. I would leave Asgard for a while, wife of Odin, he said. Yea, said Frigga, much has to be done in Midgard, the world of men. I would change what knowledge I have into wisdom, said Odin, so that the things that are to happen will be changed into the best that they may be. You would go to Mimir's well, said Frigga. I would go to Mimir's well, said Odin. My husband go, said Frigga. Then they went back to the rainbow bridge that is more beautiful and more tremulous than the one seen by men. They went back over the rainbow bridge, and the Aesir and the Esnur, Odin and Frigga, Baldur and Nanna, Tyr and his sword, and Sif beside Tyr. As for Thor, he went struggling through the cloud rivers, Kormt and Ermt, his hammer Mjolnir on his shoulder. Little Hennessa, the youngest of the dwellers in Asgard, was there, standing beside Heimdall, the watcher for the gods and the keeper of the bridge to Urda's well. When Odin, All-Father, and Frigga, his queen, went through the great gate with heads bent. Tomorrow I shall be Vegtem, the wanderer, upon the ways of Midgard and Jotunheim. Hey guys, thank you for watching. I do appreciate it. If you liked it, please don't forget to subscribe, like, share it. If you really liked it, hit the bell notification so you know when another one of these installments comes out. Also, don't forget to check out the playlist that's titled Children of Odin. You can watch all of these in order from the beginning. They make a little bit more sense that way. Anyway, you guys have yourselves a very great day.